Thank you for showing up for you. I am sharing the most important secrets on 3 vital topics that I guarantee will change your life in 31 days. And I actually give you a guarantee. Welcome. Outside with Renee. Outside with Renee. Outside with Renee. Outside with Renee. You're in my outdoor office. This is my office. I'll show you what we got going on over here. Yeah, the box is classy, right? So we have some, and then some warm things. Let's go this way, right? So this is where we are. You come to work with me. I sit you down right here next to me. Boop. You get to sit there. Working outside has so many benefits. Hold on. Let me balance you. And today I'm talking about 3 things. Your health. You have nothing if you don't have your health. Wealth. Where you go if you don't have any money. And asset protection. So it's getting a little bit windy. I'm going to put on my Snuggie while I talk about health. The first thing I love to talk about is vitamin C. Vitamin C. It is an antifungal, an antiviral, fever reducer. It pretty much kills anything. Snuggie, snuggie, snuggie. Blanket. Cheers. Mm. All right, so you already know I'm going to talk about vitamin C. Vitamin C is the most important to me. My top 3 are vitamin C powder. I prefer powder. B3 has niacin, which is, you're not ready for it yet. You're not ready for it yet. When you are ready for it, we're going to start you up on it. And melatonin. Those are my 3 major healing solutions. If you need to heal, that's where it's at. I'm going to talk about vitamin C. I'm going to talk about your pH level of your blood and your urine. And I'm going to talk about diet, sleep, and hydration. Those are the main characteristics of healing. And I guess when I was younger, I never thought that my diet, sleep, or any hydration level had anything to do with my healing. How cute, right? Can you imagine earlier, Renee? Now, let me give you a little bit of history. My oldest daughter's 27. When she was about 1.5, 2, I started getting really sick. Couldn't figure out why. I could barely stand up from a squat. I was washing my hair and I had to put my arms down because I couldn't hold them up. I couldn't walk upstairs, but I could walk flat. I had a dog, Max, my chocolate lab, and I could walk around the park. I lived on a park at that point. So I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, and I was the head of household. I was the only one raising, both emotionally and financially, my oldest, and I was getting too sick to work. What was I going to do? Well, I just did all the things that the doctor said. I took prednisone, I took methotrexate, Plaquenil, which is hydroxychloroquine. I think that you've heard that term before during the COVID timeframe, right? I took a lot of crazy medicine. I did everything that they said. Fosamax, I had to take this. I guess I was losing bone density from all the caustic and poisonous medicine they were giving me. So I had to take this old lady medicine. Sorry, I mean, I'll be 50 next year now, so I'm an old lady now. But this was back when I was, 23 years old? So I would have to make sure I was standing up for 20 minutes because I guess it would like come back up and burn things. I don't know. It's been banned. Fosamax has been banned by now, but so I would take it before I would take a shower because I knew I was in there for at least 20 minutes. And I did all the things that they said, and I was getting sicker and sicker. The prednisone made me have a moon face. I was gaining weight. I had hair on my face. I had hair from like pretty much my forehead down to, I don't know. I already have a mustache, so it was crazy. It was very hormonal. I had acne around this area, like the goatee area. It was terrible. And I just wasn't getting any better. I kept doing everything that they said. A year goes by. I can't stand it anymore. And also I was denied disability. So how about this? I wasn't sick enough for disability, but I'm too sick for life insurance to cover my daughter if something happened. What a world we live in, right? So I found a way to muster up my strength and I went back to work and I started figuring out how the body is trying to work and what I was doing to make things go sideways. They gave me multiple diseases, lupus, dermatomyositis, and rheumatoid arthritis. So, just a spoiler alert, I've gotten rid of those diseases and then given them back to myself 3 times. Classy. Yeah, I know. So at least I know how to decode how to get rid of it. And now, in my maturity, in my wisdom of almost 50, I know how to prevent. And it took a long time, a lot of trial, a lot of error, a lot of supplements. I've tried them all. When I show you, I've tried them all. I've tried them all. I'm going to cut it down for you so that you can make better choices with the food that you're eating, hydrate at the right time and with the right things, and get the sleep that you need to get. Sound good? I hope so. I'm glad you're here. Hi. Yeah. I have a little slide that blocks my camera. I can get you one if you want. You let me know if you want one. I will get you one. Vitamin C. I take a lot of vitamin C today. Every day. I use vitamin C powder. I've had issues with digestion. Sometimes the pills come out the same way they went in. So I use powder, and it's a lot easier to use, and it gets digested very easily. There's also a liposomal vitamin C version that is wrapped in a pet bubble. It's a lot more expensive, but it's far more, it bypasses digestion. It goes directly into your lymphatic system and it is magical. Absolutely magical. You get about 92% absorption from the liposomal vitamin C because the hydrochloric acid in your stomach kind of burns up a lot of the oral vitamin C powder that you take. Having both on hand, they should be in every single first aid cabinet. Let me tell you a little bit about vitamin C. Vitamin C used to be made in our bodies, and in all mammals, it's made in their bodies except for primates, humans, guinea pigs, fruit bats, and a few others. We lost the fourth enzyme in our liver to manufacture it in our bodies. We were getting it from our diet, and we needed that extra energy to run from our predators. So evolutionarily, we lost the ability to make it in our bodies. And now guess what? You're no longer getting these micronutrients in the soil that used to be present in our food. So we have to do these things that will help support our bodies. Every day, just like with your cell phone, the energy depletes from it, right? Just like everything in your life, energy is depleting from you. So vitamin C is something that you can do to add the deposit to counteract a lot of the withdrawals. Like a rising tide lifts all boats, vitamin C gives you what you need for all of your amino acids and your body systems to do what they need to do. It is vital. If you are going to keep a primate in captivity, studies have shown that you need at least 4 grams, which is 4,000 milligrams, to sustain a primate in captivity. Not to make it thrive, but just so it can continue to live. And you're a bit of a primate. Linus Pauling, 2-time Nobel Prize winning Linus Pauling, the founder of orthomolecular medicine. Ortho means right, and molecularly means molecule, the right molecule. Either it's just what's inside your body. Either you don't have enough and you need to supplement, or you have too much and you need to cycle some of it out. Orthomolecular medicine is what I live for. I love it. I do look into traditional Chinese medicine, Indian healing, Ayurveda. I am a huge fan of anything old that we can reclaim to take back our health, because I don't want any chemicals in my body. I want to keep as many chemicals from my body as possible. So Linus Pauling wants you to take 10 grams, which is 10,000 milligrams, broken up all throughout the day. Can you do that? I know you can, and it's not that hard. Right now, I probably, in my drink, which is honey, vitamin C, and some lemon, and a little bit of bee pollen, I have probably 4 or 5 grams, maybe. I put a lot of honey. I'll fill up my glass. This is an ice cream koozie. Fits my pint glass perfectly. I fill up about halfway with room temperature water, and I will put in a scoop of vitamin C, I will put in too much honey, maybe like this much honey, because the more honey I put in, the more vitamin C I can put in. So I can make this really caustic. I squeeze some lemon into it, put a couple sprinkles of bee pollen. If you don't have bee pollen, that's fine. I can show you where to get it. It just helps with allergies, which I've never had any, but it helps with so many different things. Bee pollen, but you don't have to have that. But the lemon gives it a nice touch. I do about 3 of these per day. So I know I'm getting a lot of vitamin C. And it's just very refreshing. And I do a lot of intermittent fasting too, which I'll talk about when I'm starting to talk about food. But vitamin C, I really want you to understand the benefits of it. I have a couple of videos at the end I'm going to show you. I want to get through these before the sun goes down. And it's important to me that you understand that keeping your serum level up, taking, a half a teaspoon, which is 2 grams, 2,000 milligrams, to a teaspoon in the morning at first, depending on how much you can tolerate, and then keeping that serum level up all day long. If you could take it 6 times, if you could take it 8 times, that would be wonderful. I have set an alarm on my phone so that every hour it would ding. And if I was aware of someplace where I could take vitamin C, I would take it. I actually added a 30-minute alarm too, because when I was in a healing crisis, I was like, I need to kick it up a notch. So how do I take vitamin C multiple times per day? Well, if you remember when you would go out to brunch and they had those beautiful little jellies and jams and they had the little jar and it had the lid on top. Well, if you have any of those kicking around your house, or you can find some, that will hold 20 grams of vitamin C powder. 20 grams, which is 20,000 milligrams. You can keep that in your pocket. I would keep a little container of it in my car. So when I get in my car to go someplace, I would take a dose. I'd get out and I would go someplace, do what I was doing, and then get back in my car. I would take another dose. I put it in the bathroom for every time I, empty the tank. I would bring my beverage in to refresh my beverage, and I would take a dose when I'm in the WC, the loo. I keep it in my kitchen area where I make my drink station, which I didn't finish the drink. Fill it with room temperature water, put the vitamin C powder, put too much honey, the lemon, a little bit of bee pollen, and then I have one of those boiling pots that you just click down the bottom of it and it boils. And then I fill the rest of it with hot water so it's nice and warm to the touch. It's still a little bit warm now, but I've been outside for a while. And I use the koozie because when it's really cold at the end of the day, I have to hold on to the koozie. So my beverage, this is the easiest way to get it in. If you have little bottles, you can make these and then put them in bottles and leave for the day so that they're already made for you. You cannot fail. When I'm feeling extremely responsible, I will also, in between making these beverages, I will take a dose of the powder, put it directly on my tongue, then drink 5 or 10 gulps of water. Simple, right? And that's what most people do, and that's what my children do. My children are 10 and 12 now. They've been doing this for years. And in fact, they will lose their screen time if they don't take their supplements. I have them taking orthomolecular multivitamin, which I highly recommend since we're 3D printing our children. And you're to say, wait a second, all these supplements cost so much money. Yeah, well, so does healing. You have to consider this in your grocery budget because these things are no longer in your food. It's the truth. So the orthomolecular multivitamin and the vitamin C, I think they're a nice 1-2 punch to get started. If you can just do one thing, I would start with the vitamin C. Do that for a month and see how you're feeling. But the secret is consistency, is to getting that serum level up in the morning and keeping it up there all day long, all the ding dong day. If you can, just take it as many times as you possibly can. And you're going to fall off a cliff at some point because we all do. We stop caring about ourselves. We're busy taking care of everybody else and all their needs and feeding them and doing all the things. And sometimes we're just like, I don't feel like it. Well, that's me talking about me. I don't feel like it. What does that have to do with anything? I don't feel like it. Well, this makes it easy for you to feel like it. Vitamin C. Like I said, at the end, I'm going to put a whole bunch of videos that you can share with your friends, share with your family. I'll share the links as well so that you can share just those videos if you'd like. And that's what I want to say about vitamin C and orthomolecular multivitamin powder. Get them. Get them today. Get them today. Just kidding, one more thing. Kids Defense. Kids Defense is very, very important to me. Very important to me. Before they started making the orthomolecular multivitamin, my kids would take it was the bag with the dragon on it, they called it, and it was a fruit punch flavor. It was very yummy. And it's vitamin C and a non-flush version of B3. I take both versions. Niacin is the flush version, which you're not starting yet. As I mentioned, B3 is niacin. You're not starting yet. But the non flush version is wonderful for children who have a hard time focusing, who are struggling with depression or anxiety. Newsflash, it also works for parents and grown-ups. So the Kids Defense was really important to me, and they actually have put it into a chewable. They put the orthomolecular vitamin into a chewable as well, though if you were going to try chewable, I would rather the Kids Defense to get started. The Kids Defense is something that a number of my clients thoroughly enjoy for themselves, not only for themselves and for their children, due to the ease of use. I buy them in a 5-pound bag, just like I buy my vitamin C in a 5-pound bag, and I keep them on hand, and I tend to give them away as samples because I know how beneficial they are, especially for children. So I just wanted to put in a plug that the Kids Defense, either chewables or the powder, 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. Get some today. Hey, welcome to my kitchen. We're going to talk about food for a little bit. On the stove right now, I have some turkey bone broth going. I am a turkey holic. I love turkey. I usually cook at least 3 turkeys per season, and my second turkey is carved and in the fridge and on the stove as bone broth right now. I would like for you to change things up just a little bit, just make a little bit of a shift in your life. I want you to focus on just eating meats and vegetables for 1 month, just meats and vegetables. I buy a 2-pack of chickens, organic chickens. Sometimes I can get it at Sam's. They're a little more expensive per chicken at the grocery store, or if you can find a specialty store, that's even better. I just found one not too far away, and I'm going to check out the chicken prices soon. What vegetables do you like? You can have as many vegetables as you'd like. You can have them raw, you can have them cooked, you can steam them. You can have as many vegetables as you like. What I prefer is I list things by acid versus alkaline, and I try to have as many alkaline, leafy greens, those types of things as possible. I will show you a whole bunch of photos of meals that I make for the kids and myself. I usually snack a lot while I'm making food for them, and we'll eat together, and I'll just have a little bit more of what it is that they're eating. And if you can make that change, adding some supplements and eating just meats and vegetables for 1 month, I think that you're going to notice a huge difference in the way your body feels in your clothing. Because, first of all, what you're doing is getting rid of a lot of that water retention, that water weight, because you're regulating things with the supplements and with the change in the food that you're allowing for yourself. This is something of a commitment. You're making a commitment when you go to the grocery store to shop around the outside of the grocery store. There's not really much in the middle that you really need. I think that we all know that the important things are on the outside, and that's what, if you could do it, stick to it for a month. What a world you will be living in. It'll be the jump start to improving your health. So we've talked about supplements. We've talked about food, just some meats and vegetables, whatever meats you like, fish, no problem with that. If you're a vegetarian or a vegan, I'm not into that. I've looked at all different diets. I think I ate, for a span, I ate just fruit because I was thinking to myself, I'm supposed to take all this vitamin C. How can I get it in my diet? And then I was eating just fruit. There's Dr. Morse. He's hilarious. You could follow him if you'd like. I found that my body required more protein. So that's what we are factoring into our diets. And I'm happy to share with you a list of recipes, which I make them up. I'm not a chef. I'm happy to share with you grocery shopping lists. I'm happy to share with you how to store the foods once you get them home, and also leftovers, making bulk meals so that you have half the food for your next meal, and how to store it and keep it from spoiling. Spoiler alert! I have something that you've never heard of before that is going to help keep your food from spoiling. I'm not going to spoil it right now. Stick with me. I'll share. So we have our supplements. We have the foods that we're going to be choosing. I didn't talk about intermittent fasting, and I know a lot of people don't like that. Fasting, I thought I was going to, I don't know, hurt my body if I didn't eat. On the contrary, it's the exact opposite. If your body is busy focusing on digestion, it cannot heal. It cannot heal. So you will do yourself a huge favor by not eating. You don't need 25 meals throughout the day. If you just squish your nutrition window, your eating time is your nutrition window. If you squish it to 6 hours, your body will heal tremendously. What it's doing is it's getting rid of the weak cells and the dead cells. It's getting rid of them completely. And when you refeed, as they say, which sounds hilarious, you are creating the ability for new stem cells to be made. So how about that? New stem cells from fasting. But an intermittent fasting is just, shrinking the time that you eat. So if you start eating at 1 in the afternoon, stop eating at 6. Just use that window as a gauge. You think to yourself, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. Well, there's certain things that you can add to your life, like bone broth, like we were just talking about. Bone broth will help sustain you as you're going through that non-eating time frame. And now, is it completely fasting? Absolutely not. But I don't expect you to be a professional at fasting. Also want to laugh with you that the first couple times I was fasting at day 3, what I chose to refeed was a very thin crust margarita pizza. A lot of people say that when you refeed and you introduce something heavy like that, you feel really junky. Well, I didn't feel junky. I felt like a superstar. I felt like I deserved it and that I had earned it. Traditionally, people will use a smoothie or something that they'll put in their blender to ease back into eating. And I didn't seem to have any problem jumping right back into it with a margarita pizza. And that pizza place went out of business. So sadly, I don't get to have that pizza, my favorite pizza, any longer. So intermittent fasting will help with your reduction of junk in your life. If you're just committing to healing your body instead of your body having to digest constantly, then you're going to make a huge difference. Hi there. The sun is setting. I think it's an appropriate time to talk about sleep. So I made this video a couple of years ago. It's silly, okay? But it's super helpful for you to understand how important sleep is. I went through a period of time where I lost my sleep. I would wake up at like 2:30 in the morning and I'd just be awake until like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning when I had to wake up to be with the kids, and I was just a wreck all day long. We went through extreme lengths. We changed all the overhead lighting to full spectrum lights because if the lizards need full spectrum lights to stay alive, don't you think these lizards do? Yeah, we absolutely do. You might wonder for another reason why I work outside. The heliotherapy, the free healing of the sun, it's huge. It's helped my vision, it's helped my attitude, and it's a big deal. But sleep is really important. It's the only time your body heals. Watch this video. I can't make any excuses for it. It's absolutely hilarious. I'm Renee Rainville Benici with EBI Partners, where we bring you evidence-based improvement every day. We help improve health, wealth, and market share. And today we're talking about health, specifically sleep. Thank you so much for being interested in my 7 best kept sleep secrets. I know that you're interested in getting better sleep, and I want to help. I'm going to help you find ways to prevent your sleep loss. I'm going to help you learn ways to repair your sleep patterns currently. I'm going to mention a bunch of the benefits to attempting to even make some of these sleep changes, waking up feeling refreshed, completing tasks faster, increased focus, better mood, more patience. Who can't use more patience? And right now I'm going to show you the cost of inaction. What is sleep loss doing to your body? Now, I'm no expert, but Dr. Matthew Walker is. Check him out. I have a couple things I want to say to you once he's finished.
There is simply no aspect of your wellness that can retreat at the sign of sleep deprivation and get away unscathed. It's almost like a broken water pipe in your home. Sleep loss will leak down into every nook and cranny of your physiology, even tampering with the very DNA nucleic alphabet that spells out your daily health narrative. And at this point, you may be thinking, oh my goodness, okay, I get it. What can I do to start improving my sleep? What are your tips for better sleep? Well, beyond avoiding the damaging and harmful impact of alcohol and caffeine on your sleep at night, and if you're struggling with sleep at night, avoiding naps during the day, I have 2 additional pieces of advice. The first is regularity. Go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time, no matter whether it's the weekday or the weekend. Regularity is king, and it will anchor your sleep and improve the quantity and the quality of that sleep. The second is keep it cool. Your body needs to drop its core temperature by about 2 to 3 degrees Fahrenheit to fall asleep and then to stay asleep. And it's the reason you will always find it easier to fall asleep in a room that's too cold than too hot, because too cold is taking you in the right temperature direction for good sleep. So aim for a bedroom temperature of around 67 or 68 degrees. It sounds cold, but it seems to be optimal for the sleep of most people. And finally then, in sort of taking a step back, what's the mission-critical statement here? Well, I think it would be this. Sleep, unfortunately, is not an optional lifestyle luxury. Sleep is a non-negotiable biological necessity. It is your life support system, and it is Mother Nature's best effort yet at immortality. And the decimation of sleep throughout industrialized nations is having a catastrophic impact on our health, our wellness, our productivity, even the safety and the education of our children. It is a silent sleep loss epidemic, and it is fast becoming one of the greatest public health challenges that we face in the 21st century. I believe it is now time for us to reclaim our right to a full night of sleep, and without embarrassment or that unfortunate stigma of laziness. And in doing so, we can be reunited with the most powerful elixir of life, the Swiss Army knife of health, as it were.
So this is something that I made a long time ago. All these squares are built out. There's the darkness in light cue, the temperature, thermal cue, self-medicating. Anytime you take sleep aids, a sleeping pill or weed, alcohol, it has to cycle out of your body before you can get that deep healing REM sleep. Don't do it. It does not help you. We have other solutions. Breathing, your posture, meditation. Late activities, eating late, exercising late, it all matters. Consistency, you heard him talk about regularity. Avoiding naps. I really don't subscribe to that. I love naps. I find great success in naps, but Dr. Matthew Walker is the expert, so I'm not pretending here. And then getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep. The shorter your sleep, the shorter your life. It's true. The shorter your sleep, the shorter your life. If you're not getting enough sleep, oh, I only need 3 hours sleep, I only need 4 hours sleep, great. You're shaving the last 10 years of your life off. You know, all those people that you know and love that died a lot sooner than you thought they should, how long were they sleeping? It matters. Sleep matters. Hilarious, right? That was so cute. Sleep is so important. It's really, really important. And there's certain things that you do that will help you get sleep. And clearly there was a huge list going on in that video. You should make a checklist out of it. I have a checklist. If you want it, I'm happy to pass it along to you. The things that I love for sleep are B3 as niacin. You can start off with niacinamide, as I mentioned, because you're not ready for niacin yet. And magnesium, taking a hot shower before you go to bed. I plug the tub and I put Epsom salt crystals at the bottom of the tub. So I'm taking a nice hot shower. And the Epsom salt is transdermal, so it's getting through my feet, the skin of my feet, and going through my body. I think that's very, very helpful. I make an Indian Ayurveda type of a warm milk beverage that is so special, so yummy, and really makes me feel nourished. Those types of things are things that I do to help me go to sleep. And I'm wondering some things that you do when you need help going to sleep. Tell me. Hey, welcome back. Okay, we've talked about supplements, we've talked about recipes for your diet, we talked about sleep, and we're going to talk a little bit about hydration. We are under the carport today because it's a little bit windy. It is 31 degrees right now, and they said it was going to rain a little bit later, so I figured I'd just set up shop instead of having to move in the middle of my workday. So, hydration is important. For a long time, I was drinking just distilled water. I know you're going to say, oh, distilled water doesn't have anything. I said all of the same things that you might say about water. I was looking for good, clean water when I was extremely sick, and spring water was the best choice that I had. I was lucky enough to be living south of Boston where there was a natural spring, and it was wonderful. A natural spring is just a break in the Earth's crust. The water comes out. They treated it with nothing besides ozone, which is an extra molecule of oxygen, and it was the cleanest water. And at most times I could get it before the ozone if I wanted to, which is very exciting. I'm no longer that close to a spring, although you could go to findaspring.com, and if you're lucky enough to live in a place like where I live, there's a lot of underground cave systems and rivers. It's very unique. And in some areas, not just my area, there are there's land that is deeded that has a natural spring that they will run a pipe, and literally it's running all the time. It's just coming out of the pipe, and you can collect for free spring water. Now, if it's after a rain, sometimes the water will be cloudy. Just let it settle. If you don't want to take chances like that, I mean, you could get a water test at Home Depot or Target, Target or whatever those places, Amazon, wherever you get your stuff. Support local where you can, please. But if you can't find the water test, you can test it if you want to, and or find a better water source. So I found locally a nutrition center store that has ozone water, and it has extra oxygen pumped in, so that lasts for like about a week. We get 8.5 gallons per week we tend to go through, and I'll pick up water for my family members if they need water and I'm going. And I leave it. I have a 2.5 gallon on the countertop that I leave there, and I have a special card I use that is super helpful. It's programmed with frequencies, and it is. I leave it underneath my water to structure my water, and I also say very nice things to my water. As you've probably seen those studies that seem unbelievable, but when you talk nicely to your water, the water has memory. The molecules have memory, just like what was it, that snowman from Frozen? Water has memory. I mean, it's not going to show you a scene from your parents' history or anything, or maybe it will. I don't know. I don't know how to capture that just yet. I haven't gotten that deep, but the water does have memory. So I'm always saying nice things to my water as I'm pouring it into my glass, or when I'm filling the kids' water for school. It's a thing. I'll share those studies with you in the references so that you don't think I'm just a crazy person, because I kind of felt like it was crazy at first. But the study shows you yell at one glass of water and you put it in a cabinet, and then you talk really nicely to another glass of water and you put that in the cabinet, and you look at it in a couple of days and you'll see the difference. It'll be cloudier, things will be growing in it. It's just same things happening with you, all those things that you say to yourself. When I talk about what you're 3D printing yourself with what you put in your mouth and what you're drinking and what you're hearing, what you're watching, what you're feeling, the people that you surround yourself with, it all changes inside your body. And you can do small things, free things, cheap things that will make a huge difference in your health. So water is very important. Can you find a good source, a good clean source of water? I think you can. I definitely think you can, and I think you need to make it a priority. What's in the tap is not right. The pipes, they have some issues. They also, I know that there's 43 confirmed pharmaceuticals that they can't scrub in the municipal water systems. So do you want that? Do you want to be drinking birth control pills and prednisone and the things that people either flush down the toilet, they're pills that they flush down the toilet, or that they're taking themselves and that's coming out of them? They can't take it out of the water. It's disgusting. Fluoride is a whole other topic that I would love to talk about. I've covered the fluoride trials with the FDA very thoroughly on my X account. Back in the day, I think that was 2021. Fluoride has no use in the body. It is a neurotoxin. It's a waste, an industrial waste. There's nothing that they can do with it legally. So, oh, why don't we put it into water systems? Because there was a study that they slanted that made it seem like topically that fluoride could help your teeth. I have many teeth solutions. I have a whole proven teeth solution course that if you guys are interested in that, especially for your children, I don't know how many kids I see that are losing those, what are they, bicuspids, the bigger teeth. They have the silver thing over them or paid more for the white filling or whatever that they put over it. It's a big deal. It's happening to a lot of kids, and you're scratching your head like, why is this happening? When my older kids, this didn't happen, or when I was young, it didn't happen. There's a lot happening with our food and with our water and all the things that we're putting in our mouths and we're leaving in our mouths overnight that are contributing to that fact. So we'll be discussing that at length. No worries about that. But your water is extremely important. It's a baseline. Getting good, clean water sources is super helpful. If you need to get the 2.5 shelf stable, you can get them at the major grocery stores, of distilled water. Distilled water. If you know you have a good, clean spring water source, you can do that. But I really feel like that the minerals that are in the spring water are not easily assimilated within our body, and that distilled may be a better choice for you. And again, if you'd like the references on distilled water and why it is superior, I am happy to furnish those. So if you're drinking water, how can you do it wrong? Well, your water by itself isn't super effective for hydrating your cells. So think about it this way. If you have some cells right here and you have water just by itself, it might just go around the cell. It needs the key to unlock to get inside of the cell to do its job of cleaning everything out and taking everything out with it. What are the keys? Electrolytes. Vitamin C has a little bit. The lemon has a little bit. So when you're drinking your water, you want to have an electrolyte source. We'll go over electrolytes toward the end. It's kind of a step up from just your standard supplements. Some of your multivitamins will have some electrolytes in it. So when you're taking the water with your multivitamin powder, you're getting some electrolytes. But it's really important. And you think that salt is something that's bad for you. Well, yeah, I can agree with you that table salt, sodium chloride, those two molecules together, no good. It's like shards inside your veins and your arteries. It's like slicing you open, and then you have to have cholesterol, which is the happy putty that puts you back together. It's like a boo-boo. It's like a Band-Aid, right? And don't give cholesterol a bad rap, because your entire brain is made of cholesterol. The people who have the most cholesterol live the longest. It's the bad cholesterol from the shitty foods you're eating that are causing the clogging and the problems. You need cholesterol. So if you are concerned about cholesterol, then you would love to hear more about B3, both as niacin and niacinamide. Niacin will help with your cholesterol. Niacinamide will help with everything else except for cholesterol. So salt is huge. I would always suggest a pink Himalayan salt or a Celtic sea salt. There's an American-made sea salt as well, which is wonderful. I used to use all three. I'd mix them together just in case one had more minerals than the other one. I wanted to make sure I was just really getting all the bang for my buck. However, I have been reading a lot, sadly, about pink Himalayan salt being filled with plastics and coming from China. So I don't know how you can test for that. So I just started going with the reputable Celtic salt brands that I've been using for a while. And I still use the American salt. I have not tested my salts, and at one point I will, just for heavy metals or any lead or anything like that. But at this point, I feel very confident in my Celtic sea salt. That is something that you can easily add to your water to gain the electrolytes that your body needs as the key to unlock, get into the cell, clean everybody up, take out the trash, and get out. Sea salts. It has a lot of minerals in it, and oversalting is not going to hurt you. In fact, if some doctor puts you on a low salt diet, that is not the solution. That is not the solution. It will work against healing and against your health, because salt is a vital micronutrient for your body. So adding a little bit, and this is what my kids do. You can just lick the tip of your tongue, tip of your pinky, dab it into the salt, put it in the very tip of your tongue, because that's where the salt receptors are. And I will walk into when I'm making dinner and I have the salt out. I have one of those bamboo swivels, and it has it cuts it in half. Sometimes I put some garlic salt that I love on one side, and then the regular salt in the other side. And I'll walk into the living room and the kids are watching TV, and I'll say minerals, minerals, and they'll either do it the pinky themselves, or they'll just stick out their tongues, and I'll just put my pinky of salt onto the tip of their tongues. You can do that as you're cooking dinner. You can do that when you're folding laundry. Anytime you can get the electrolytes in, it's a big deal. And also, how much water should you drink? Well, if you're eating a good, clean, yummy, veggie-filled type diet, then you're getting a lot of fluids and that hydration from your food, right? So you have to gauge that. But also, chugging a whole bunch of water at once is not the best move for you. You want to take a couple gulps all throughout the day. Please don't drink at all while you're eating. Hydrate before you eat. It gets all of your organs ready for the meal that's coming down. Do not drink while you're eating. Because why? It dilutes your hydrochloric acid in your stomach. That's supposed to be very acid, that's tearing apart your food so it can pass it on to the next. You can use that for your energy and your nutrition. When you're watering it down, it's like making a big crock pot in your gut, and it's just sloshing around. You can hear it sometimes, it's not a good combo. So drink apart from eating, please. And I would love for you to start your day with a warm glass of water with the juice of half of a lemon. Yes, a lemon. And if you're lucky enough to have Meyer lemons, which are in season right now, Meyer, Meyer lemons, it's like a pine tree and a lemon had a baby. And the experience as you put it to your mouth to take a sip, it's magical. This morning I am doing my Ayurveda drink. I know this looks really gross. It's been outside and it's cold now, so it's coagulating a little bit. But this is the nourishment that I feel when I have this any time of day. And it doesn't just make me feel good energy, because when I take it before bed, it helps me to fall asleep. So cheers. There's a lot of yummy stuff in it. If you're interested in what's in that yummy, warm, used to be warm, it's cold now, Ayurveda milk, I am happy to share that information with you. So first thing in the morning, glass of warm water with the juice of half of one lemon. It's going to help with the pH in your belly. You are considering lemon acid, but the ash that it turns into after digestion actually creates a far more alkaline beverage, and it's really helpful for your organs to start the day. And then you can take your supplements, as we mentioned, and in a little bit, I like to keep them separate from anything milk related, as I mentioned, keeping dairy separate. Then I'll take that, or I will have my honey, lemon, vitamin C, and bee pollen beverage all day long in intermittent fast. So warm water, juice of half of one lemon, first thing in the morning, life-changing. So I haven't mentioned to you baking soda, but I have a whole entire episode on just baking soda that I think is very fun. I could do a deep dive in addition, but the baking soda video is wonderful. So we also do baking soda in the morning, especially after those salty meals from the overnight, when you wake up and you're feeling like you can barely bend your fingers because they feel like sausages, or your face is really puffy. Like right now, I'm not really puffy because I've been controlling my food. Yeah, I've been controlling my food. So these little things aren't sticking out like you'll see in the baking soda video because they are puffing out. They stick out like that. It's crazy. So diet, sleep, hydration, supplements. We are going to be moving on to wealth. Now, I don't care if you don't work at all. If you're a stay-at-home mom, you need more money. I guess you could be a dad too, but I resonate with moms because I am a mom. I don't care if you are a W-2 worker and you're making a wage. I don't care if you're a successful business owner. You either need more customers or you need more money than what you're getting paid right now. And if you don't need it, maybe you want it. Maybe you want to go on a vacation or buy different shoes or get ahead of when the kids have a growth spurt and they all need clothes at the same time and clothes are expensive. Whatever it is, I have a solution for you. Now, I have been doing a lot of different things. Like I mentioned before, when I was really sick the first time, I'm head of household. If I can't make bank, I can't pay the bills. If I am not healthy enough to pay the bills, what happens to all of us? So, money. Nobody likes to talk about money. I hate talking about money. It's the worst. But I had to make it. So I learned over, I don't know, maybe I started about 2018 what marketing really was, what advertising really was, what the difference between marketing and advertising is, and the importance of an offer. An offer. You can be a person, as I mentioned, that has no income currently, has nothing to do. You would love to do something, but it's hard to leave the house. You have to get a babysitter, or it has to be within the hours where the kids are at school. If they're at school yet, if they're at home, you need something to do during nap time or while they're playing sensory table or doing something that you can step away and make some money. You can use your phone, which mine is charging right now. You can use a computer if you'd like, which is right below my fingertips. You can use anything. I have a simple software that I actually use multiple different platforms. I was lucky enough that they incorporated AI from Jump when it first came out. So I've been working with AI for a very long time and would love to show you all the shortcuts that it can do for your life on a daily basis. Is it evil? Probably. Is it going to take over the world? More than likely. But in the meantime, there's a lot of ways that you can use the tool so that you can take advantage of what the technology can do. It pushes you forward a lot faster. And I can show you how to make an offer, whether you have a business, whether you already sell things. An offer is completely different. And if you have a website, I congratulate you. Kudos. How much did you spend on it? How much did you spend on your website for people to come in, look at all your things, decide whether you are for them or not for them, and just take off? And you don't have any idea who they are, how to get in touch with them, how to contact them if what they were interested in is going to have a sale price or a VIP code. You don't have any of that. So if you have a website, kudos to you. Congratulations. It's not making you any money. And I'm going to show you how it can make you money. Even if you're somebody who doesn't necessarily want to make money, but you would like to collect people who have the same interests as you. Say you are a person who loves to photograph butterflies. Well, you put your information out there and you can collect a whole bunch of other people who also like taking photographs of butterflies, and you can talk with them and you can exchange ideas. It doesn't necessarily have to be about making money. It's a bit of a, I don't know, creating a community for yourself, because I don't know if you're like me, how do grown-ups make friends as they get older? You've got the parents that you're standing next to on the sports fields or watching the music performances, and what are you really doing for yourself in your free time? Well, if you have a lot of friends, kudos to you. If you already have a community around you, awesome. Let me know what your secrets are, because I would love some new secrets. But in the meantime, I would like to help you create an offer and create a value ladder, creating a value ladder. So when you want something and you need a solution and you're scouring the internet for it. Say, I use the example of one of my mentors, Russell Brunson. He's the founder of ClickFunnels, a wonderful platform for the advanced sort of marketing, and he talked about how he went bowling with his employees and they beat him. He's really good at bowling. He's an exemplary wrestler, but bowling is next in line for him. And he got beaten, and when he got home, he was on the internet. He wanted a new ball. He wanted a new glove. He wanted new shoes. He wanted everything. And there wasn't one place that could give him all the things that he needed, a reputable source that had done their research. He just had to go from one place to the other. And that is not how a buyer wants to consume things. A buyer is a buyer is a buyer. If somebody's a buyer in heat, they want everything that they can have to solve their problem, to move away from pain and to move toward pleasure. And that is what your offer can include. So a couple days later, when all this stuff came, he didn't care anymore about bowling. And that was something that made me laugh, because That's the history of this. You see something that captures your attention and you're like, I want that now. And then when it comes, you don't do anything with it. So this offer system, this sales funnel, if you will, you can call it a funnel because I'm a funnel hacker. The sales funnel will give the people that are looking for the information that you care about the most, that you talk about all the time, or something that you're interested in enough to where you're doing nothing, that you can pick it up and you can promote it. You can promote the benefits of it. You can talk about what it does for you. You can talk about how it changes your life and offer all the other surrounding information or links to it so that they can have everything that they need. You are a valued source and people will come to you. Again, if you do nothing, you're at home. If you're already working a 9 to 5, trading your hours for dollars, this is something that you can add to your life very simply, very cheap, that can start bringing in income. And it's like a switch. You just flip it on when you want it on and you turn it off when you turn it off. If somebody gets sick in your family or something happens, there's nobody that's pounding down your door. You turn it on when you want it on, when you can fulfill anything that you're presenting to offer, and then you turn it off when it's not convenient for you. It is on your schedule, and it is an incredible way to make extra money without having to leave your home or while you're away from home. If you have to go to jiu-jitsu and it's an hour and a half class and it's 37 minutes away, for example, then once you get to jiu-jitsu, you can bring your laptop, your phone, do whatever you need to do. And you can get that done while you're waiting for your kids to get out of their training. So these are just some examples. It's a rudimentary overview of what you can do to start making money today. Christmas is about to happen. I bet you need some more money for that sort of thing, right? So it's really important. It doesn't take maybe more than 20 minutes to set any of it up. If you're an existing business, it's even better because you already know the type of customer you love working with. If you are a person who knows nothing at all and just wants to pick up something extra that they could try to promote or try to sell, 20 minutes of your time, it's worthwhile. So that is your marketing offer. That is the wealth. That is a way of many ways that you can make extra money. You could always work with me. I'm very happy to pay you a commission if you want to work with me. And that will bring us to the third topic, the third most important, vital topic that you have in your life besides your diet, your health, your wealth, bringing in money, and asset protection. Protecting the money that you are making, protecting any asset that you have collected already needs to be protected. And what about your future income? What about the money that's coming in? What about the future for your family? These are all things that are easily protected. Have you ever considered a lawsuit? What would happen if you were sued? Somebody slips and falls at your house. Somebody uses one of the products that you sell in your business and they hurt themselves or they get sick. They want to sue you. What if I told you there was something out there, a structure that exists for 75 years that will protect your assets, put them in a vault? So yeah, if you had gotten sued, whether it's your fault or not your fault, a lawsuit that's bogus will be tossed out. But if it's your fault, it'll burn through your insurance, as everybody should have insurance, and it stops dead at your assets. All of your assets are yours. Nobody can touch it. No turnover order, no judgment, no lawsuit. What if I told you that it's cheaper than your retainer with your attorney to protect your assets today? What if I told you it was cheaper than what your initial retainer would cost you if you were sued in a lawsuit to protect your assets? What would you do about that? Oh, it also will help to manage your taxes, especially for your business, but on a personal level for any assets and beneficiaries, any of your offspring that you support. What about eminent domain? Say they want to make a turnabout or put a highway exit off ramp on your property, or they're going to move a cemetery, which has happened in the past. And your cemetery plots, they're going to move them. Well, how about protecting against eminent domain? Yeah, same thing. All one structure does the same thing. And it will cost you less than a retainer if you were to be sued. So if you're thinking about lawsuits, this is your solution. If you're not thinking about lawsuits, are you even in business? Are you even running a family? I mean, if you don't have a house, you don't have a car, you don't have anything that you could lose, I guess it's no big deal besides your future income. Yeah, they can take your future income. For the cost of less than your initial retainer, if you were to get sued, you can protect your assets today. And that is something that I feel strongly about because in my life, I have never had a sense of security. I've been on my own. I've never had anything to fall back on. And I've worked really hard to maintain, sustain my family. I'm a mother of 3. Usually I have pets. Right now we have feral cats. When we first moved here, a feral mama cat had 3 babies and she gifted them to me. So we feed them, we keep them outside. And they've been my wonderful outdoor office companions, which is lovely. But even those cats, I buy them food. It costs money. So I use some natural supplements for deworming and for fleas, things like that, so that they can be managed and they're happy and healthy. Okay, it's sunny out, so we're leaving the carport. My Bluey's dirty. Oh, you can't see how sunny it is. We're leaving the carport and we are going outside because it's beautiful and sunny. And I need some warmth from the sun and some free healing from the heliotherapy that the sun provides with the angle of the sun and the color of the sun. I normally get sunlight before 10 a.m. and I haven't yet because it was cold and overcast. Maybe outside. Ready to go out? Let's go. The laundry room is front to back, so we are going outside. You ready? Shut the door. The bane of my existence, this door. Okay. There it is. There's your office area. That's my shade. It blew away in the wind yesterday. We had 16-mile-an-hour sustained winds. I need to go get my shade because it also blocks the wind. Playpen that people use for their babies at their house. I'm going to use it for chicken babies, chicks, and I also use it for shade and or wind blocking in the summer, but wind blocking for today. All right, let's get into it. Blanket. All right. I love my outdoor office. I love being able to move around like this all day long. I love the frequency and the sound of the birds. The frequency of the birds helps with your brain. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Also, the early morning frequency of the birds chirping tells your plants when to wake up and to start taking in water and starting their day. Pretty magical. So I know that I've probably covered a lot in this video. You maybe are feeling overwhelmed, or maybe you're picking and choosing what it is that you want to do about your health, your wealth, and your asset protection. Hit me up if you have questions. I know that you'll have many. I have a lot of resources. You can always join my group as well. We work together. Sometimes we work together in groups. Sometimes we work one-on-one. Sometimes we're working on health. Sometimes we're working on wealth. And I'm always focused on asset protection because that is my bread and butter. That is what makes me feel the most secure. We were talking about sense of security. We were talking about having nothing to fall back on. We were talking about losing your future income. And all of that is relevant. It's relevant to all of us. And it's easy to get stuck in the minutia of every day and not think about the future. There's small things that you can do, shifts to your lifestyle currently that you could make that will make a huge difference in your life. I would love to talk about asset protection for another week, but I have 5 client calls today, and I'll be talking about asset protection with them. I always sneak in health tips. I always get them to join my health group. Any entrepreneur that's out there that is working their butt off, trying to make money for their family, trying to beat out their competition, they're often not thinking about their health at all. And they're often struggling with pain or inflammation or some sort of illness, or maybe they've even been given diseases like I was given. And I think that all of it works together, and nothing works without asset protection. If you're not protecting your assets and your future income, it could be taken away from you at a moment's notice. So I want you to be thinking about that every single day. You're constantly going to be thinking of me because around every corner there could be a lawsuit. You just don't know where. You don't know when it's going to strike. As my business mentor said, it's not if you get sued, it's when you get sued. Might as well be prepared.